Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission of October 7th, 2025. Welcome. So items today listed on the agenda may be taken out of the order presented. Two or more agenda items for consideration may be combined, and any item on the agenda may be removed or related discussion may be delayed at any time. Backup material for this agenda may be obtained from Luann D. Holmes, City Clerk, at the office of the City Clerk, 495 South Main Street, second floor, on the or on the city's webpage at lasvegasnevada.gov. I'd now like to do a call to order and roll call, please.
Chair Becker,
I'm here.
Vice Chair Niger, here. Commissioner Armenian, here. Commissioner Gabray, here. Commissioner Howard, here. Commissioner Keller, excuse, Commissioner Martin,
here.
Commissioner Zamora,
here.
Commissioner Burgos, here. Commissioner Cornwell, here. Commissioner Robinson,
Present.
Commissioner Stitt, excuse, Commissioner Vokitz,
Present.
Commissioner Jones, present. Commissioner Wool, excused. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving to agenda item number 2, this is the announcement regarding compliance with open meeting law. Are we in compliance?
We are.
Thank you. Item number 3, this is an item for public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Seeing no one for public comment, we will move to agenda item number 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular meeting of September 2nd, 2025. If everybody has read the meeting minutes, do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Great. Commissioners, could you remember to mention your name and the ward that you represent?
Commissioner Howard, Ward 6.
And the second was?
Commissioner Zamora, Ward 3.
Thank you. We have a motion and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 5, we have a report by the Department of Public Safety regarding a review of arrests, citations, and calls for service at the city facilities and parks, all wards. Hi, Lieutenant.
Good afternoon. Lieutenant Cheryl Manning, the Department of Public Safety. We have revised the presentation to enhance clarity and provide additional context for your review. This updated report offers a comprehensive overview of enforcement activities conducted at city parks, recreation centers from January through September of 2025. Please note, due to the timing of the meeting occurring early in the month, future reports will reflect data through the end of the previous months to ensure completeness and accuracy. So year to date, there has been 2,459 arrests and citations issued across city parks and recreation centers. This represents a 39.2% increase compared to this exact same time period in 2024. The rise is attributed to deliberate increased officer presence and proactivity in enforcement efforts aimed at enhancing public safety in all city parks. To further support these efforts, we have increased the Cobra Curve strategy, which is a data-driven policing model that enhances frequent, brief, and randomized patrol in high-activity areas, which we call hotspots, to deter criminal behavior more effectively than prolonged static presence. The Cobra Curve strategy is currently active in the following 3 locations: Justice Leavitt Family Park, Lorenzi Park, and Kianga-Asaka Palacia Park. We remain committed to ensuring that the safety and well-being of all parks visitors and will continue to refine our strategies based on the data and the community needs. Activity increased the most at Gary Reese Park due to our increased proactivity on patrol. Our top 5 parks were number 1, where we had either citations or arrests, was at Justice Leavitt Park. The second coming in at Lorenzi Park at 171 either citations or arrest. Ethel Pearson Park at 160 citation or arrest. Gary Reese Park at 147 citation or arrest. And last, our Rafael Rivera at 98 citation or arrest. Our top park and recreation center violations, our top violations is remaining in park after hours. The second highest that we had citations or arrests was for unlawful presence in Children's Park. Our third was misuse of park property amenities at 153. Lodging without consent at 107. And our last one was warrants at 68 citations or arrest. On the next slide. Now I would like to provide a brief overview of enforcement activities across all city wards so far this year, comparing January through September of 2025 to the same period in 2024. Overall, we have seen an increase in enforcement activity across the city. In Ward 1, our top 3 citations or arrests were for remaining in park after hours or of closure, unlawful presence at Children's Park, and misuse of park property and amenities. The top 3 parks within Ward 1 was Gary Reese Park at 58 citation or arrest, Rotary Park at 45 citation or arrest, and Bob Baskin Park at 37 citation or arrest. The total arrest in Ward 1 for citation or arrest and rec centers year to date is 316. Arrests and citations year to date increased 49.8% due to an increase in park violations in lodging and because of enforcement activities. In 2025, in Ward 1, there were 316 citation arrests compared to this same time in 2024, which was 211. For Ward 2, our arrests and citations, the top violations were for 29 for remaining in park hours after closure, misuse of park amenities and children's play areas for 6. Our top 3 parks that had citation or arrest was Angel Park at 52, Kellogg's Air Park at 44, and All-American Park at 15. The total citation or arrest year to date is 128, up from 50 from last year. Ward 3 year to date, the top 3 citation arrests, again, were number 1 at remaining in park hours after closure, 262, unlawful presence in Children's Park at 98, and misuse of park property or amenities at 89. The top 3 parks in Ward 3 where we had enforcement, Justice Leavitt Park at 353, Gary Reese Freedom Park at 147, and Rafael Rivera Park at 98. The total arrests and citations at the Parks and Rec Center is 1,144 year to date, and compared to this same time in 2024 where we had 766. On the next slide, for Ward 4, we actually had a 111% increase from this same time in 2024. The top 3 violations, basic speed violations, 14, remaining in park hours after closure at 8, and warrants for 3. The top three parks were Mountain Ridge Park at 17 citation arrests, Bunker Park at 11, Buckskin Basin Park at 9. Again, the total arrests and citations was 57 compared to this same time last year, which was 27. In Ward 5, we saw a more modest increase of 10.5% increase. Top three citations or arrests, again, remaining in park hours was number 1 at 168, unlawful presence in a children's park at 144, and misuse of park property or amenities at 37. The top three parks in Ward 5 where we had citations or arrests was Lorenzi Park at 171, Ethel Pearson Park at 160, and Ed Fountain Park at 86. Again, the total arrests or citations at parks or rec centers was 770 compared to this time last year where we only had 697. And finally, Ward 6 had the highest percentage of increase at 193.3% through the total numbers, although the total numbers still remain relatively low. Our top citation arrests, we had 13 for remaining in park after hours of closure, misuse of park property or amenities at 3, and warrants 3. Centennial Park was our highest at 15 citation arrests, Floyd Lamb at 11 citation arrests, and Polly Gonzalez Park at 4 citation arrests. So the total for Ward 6 citation arrests was 44 compared to this time last year where we had only 15. These figures reflect a citywide trend of increased enforcement with notable spikes in areas where officer-present engagements have been intensified. On the next slide. In addition to enforcement activities, we continue to prioritize community engagement through our community-oriented policing efforts. Here is an overview of the events held at our city parks and recreation centers during September and early October. These events are a key part of our strategy to build trust and foster positive relationship between officers and the community. We've also included a list of upcoming events scheduled for the remainder of October, which we encourage everyone to attend and support. So in September 25th at Doolittle Senior Center, we have a public health fair event. On October 1st, we have the October 1 ceremony at the Community Healing Garden. On October 10th at Bruce Trent Park, so this Friday, we have a trunk or treat and movie event. And on October 18th at Vistas Park, we have a Barktoberfest.
Great. Thank you so much, Lieutenant. I like the new format, by the way. It's a really nice job. Be happy to take any questions from commissioners. Commissioner Robinson?
Thank you. Bob Robinson, Ward 1. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lieutenant Manning, thank you for the report. I would also like to echo the chairman's comments. The new format is wonderful. I have a question, though. Could you elaborate on what unlawful presence in a children's park specifically means? I mean, I think I might have a general idea, but could you define that specifically, please?
Yes, sir. So there are some parks that are designated for children's only. So in order to utilize the facility and be within the confines of the park, you have to have a child with you, 12 or under. And if you don't meet that criteria, then it gives us the opportunity to contact the person to find out why they're there. You know, some people don't always read the signs, so then we would take the opportunity to engage with them, find out what their reason for being there, and explain the park rules. Also contacting them and trying to, you know, assess, have they done this before? Sometimes we find people that keep repeat offenders, but that's basically what a children's only park. And so when we find people, we address it to make it safe for people in the community to come with their children.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Good afternoon, Commissioner Jones, Ward 5. Thank you, Lieutenant, for your information today. As I'm looking on here, you got two parks in Ward 5 and Ward 3, and those are some of the heaviest areas where homeless camps are handled. How can we go about to eliminate that? We have some high numbers in our parks, which is over at Lorenzi, Ethel Pearson, and we're only, less than a mile and a half from the homeless shelter from Ethel Pearson. We 2.5 to 3 miles from Lorenzi Park. So I know it's hard to lock it up. I see you guys up there doing a great job trying to protect the park, but I know it's hard. You can't lock it because even when you shut the gates, they're going to go through the sides. So is it something that we can come up with to eliminate, to bring those numbers down, or try to see what we can come up with? Because like I say, I know it's hard because it's driving in, you can block the gates, but they're still going to walk in. But as we know, we're in two of the biggest homeless areas in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know one of the things that our department constantly tries to do is work also with the MORE team, who contacts the people to see if we can get them the resources. So we do work with not just the enforcement piece, but also with the other communities, to get them resources, to get them into the areas that they need to be. So we continue to work on that, and as our data shows, right now, our 3 parks, that are hot spots, we're continuing to monitor those. We constantly send officers at random times, but we are also, one of the things that we encourage our officers to do and expect them to do is when they are dispatched out to these parks that are in the hot spots, that they are not only to just go there, but they're to get out of their vehicles and make contact. And so we're hoping with us concentrating on these 3 parks that we will see it being effective and trying to make it a safer place, but also to get the resources to the people that need it.
Thank you.
Great. Vice Chair.
Vice Chair Niger, hi. Thank you very much. I do like the new format. I have a procedural question. This term unlawful presence in Children's Park has caused my mind to wonder. When someone is found and is cited with a violation, is it normal procedure to, do a records check on them or a background check to ensure that they're not the type that shouldn't be anywhere near children?
Yeah, absolutely. So anytime that we contact somebody, that we always do a records check. And so, we want to see what type of person, do they have a history, do they have multiple of the same violations? Obviously, we always want to go to the least amount of enforcement, if that's a citation or a warning, but documenting the contact so that we can move forward. But also if they are a sex offender, obviously something like that, that's what we want to know when we're contacting them.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Commissioner Volk, it's Ward 1. I also want to echo, thank you. You get an extra blessing for having it on a smaller piece of paper. We appreciate that. But I have a question in general. How does the public know a park is closed? Is there a visual clue? Do the lights get lowered? Do we lock the bathrooms? In general, how do people know that the park is no longer open?
All of the parks do have signage throughout the park, so they're either standalone signs or on fences, but there's always signs that will tell the hours of the park. And it is also, when the park's closed, the lights will come off, and our marshals do go to each and every park. That's one of the things that they're tasked with, is to go to the parks, make sure we're closing restrooms so that we're avoiding people living there or doing anything inappropriate there. So our marshals do also go to the parks and lock up, for sure, the bathrooms and some of them the gates. But there is always signage that clearly states the hours and what is prohibited and what's allowed in the park.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Commissioner Gabriel, Ward 5. Thank you, Lieutenant Mannion. I have a question. After our closures, most of the arrests you do. So the marshals, they are there 24 hours looking, driving you around. That's what they know.
Correct, yes, ma'am. We are now, I apologize, I don't know exactly how long, but we have been 24 hours for a while now. And so one of the upticks, obviously, in citations arrest is for sure being in parks after hours. And that's because when our officers are patrolling, they're assigned different wards or sectors. And so they're responsible for going to all of those different parks. So they're self-generating patrols of these parks and also going to the different parks to either lock the gates or bathrooms. And so when they are driving around, and they're going to these different parks, that's where, some of it is where when they're patrolling at these parks, they're finding people there after hours. And some of it is because people are trying to, lodge or sleep there, or, sometimes it's a matter of, kids playing basketball, and, our marshals will just, hey, just, this closed at 11, if you can pack up. So it's not always, we don't always just do enforcement, it's educating the public and contacting people.
Thank you.
Great. Seeing no other questions, Lieutenant, thank you again for coming. Excellent report. Again, the format's wonderful. We're really happy to see you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to agenda number 6, we have a report from Steve Glimp, Parks and Grounds Maintenance Manager, regarding park maintenance updates, all wards. Hi, Steve.
Good afternoon. Steve Glimp, Manager of Parks and Grounds Maintenance. I just have a quick update on some projects we've been working on in each ward. Ward 1, we installed a new bronze dedication plaque at Betty Wilson, and the next project coming up for Ward 1 is Bob Baskin pickleball conversion. And in Ward 2, associated with some improvements we were doing at Veterans Memorial Community Center, we installed an ADA compliant sidewalk to address that slope that's on the north side there. And then the next project will be a Wallapai Trail Park ADA access to the benches and tables in the park. Ward 3, the Healing Garden, put in a lot of work this year prior to October 1. One of the really kind of cool things we did is we resealed the pavers. They look fantastic. And the next project will be Mayfair Park. We're having to rebuild the irrigation pump, which is a pretty high ticket item. Ward 4, Durango Hills pickleball courts. When this was built, they didn't really address that slope, and so that slope was eroding off and sheeting onto the pickleball court. So we went in and put curbing in to kind of help with the erosion. And then hopefully the next thing we're going to continue working on is the Police Memorial Playground. And then Ward 5, Lorenzi Park, we just installed all new fencing in the outfield. And Ethel Pearson Park, doing some fencing improvements over there. And then Ward 6 at Gilcrease Brothers Park, new bocce ball borders on the courts over there. And then at Floyd Lamb Park, we have an Eagle Scout project coming up where we're going to remove about a quarter mile of barbed wire out in the park. That's all I have. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner. I see you.
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. I have a question about Floydland Park, the signage. When you enter the park, there's signage about addressing that there's free for military to enter, but it's also free for disabled or handicapped. But I don't see any signage that advertises that or shows that when you enter the park. I don't know if that's something that can be addressed. I know it's on the website, but it'd be nice if a lot of people, I work in the disabled community, and a lot of people don't have idea that they can get into the park for free.
Yeah, that's a great question. We can get with our manager who oversees the gatehouse there and talk about appropriate signage.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner.
No, my light
No,
won't go up.
Oh, your light won't go out?
No.
There you go.
That's good.
Next light.
Good afternoon, Mr. Klimp. I do have a question. To have a quality visit experience, to have capacity limit in the parks. Did all parks they have a limited capacity?
I don't believe we have any capacity limitations in our parks that I'm aware of.
For example,
certain event centers or areas in the parks where we have special events that are gated will have fire marshal recommendations for capacity, but the parks in general, no.
for example, Sammy Davis. They have some events. It was so crowded and everybody's pushing each other, and that area might need capacity or no vendors and all that things.
Sure. Pat O'Mara, Deputy Director. So Sammy Davis would be considered one of the event venues, and that would have an associated capacity. That's actually run by our Cultural Affairs Division, so I can have a conversation with the Deputy Director who oversees that division and just bring that concern to her, and she can evaluate it and address it.
Thank you.
Great. Seeing no other questions, Mr. Klimp, thank you for the report. Moving on, I'd like to go to agenda item number 7, a report by Lisa Tover, Recreation Manager regarding recreation and centers updates, all wards.
Hi, good afternoon. I have a few updates for you. I wanted to share in September our activity check-ins. So those are people that enrolled in our programs and actually came in attended. We're up 7% compared to September from 2024. So our registrations and activity numbers are looking really good. Some of our most popular classes for this registration period are the citizenship classes at Stupac, the Teen Scene program at Veterans Memorial, the Zone After School program at Doolittle, table tennis at Liebern Active Adult, and beginner taekwondo at Veterans Memorial. I also wanted to share with you, last week our adaptive recreation team had their annual Camp Cal, where they take 40 to 45 adults with disabilities to Calabasas for a week-long camp experience. And they had a great time this year. It was a play on the Coachella theme. They had Campchella. They go to the beach every day. It's a really wonderful experience for the participants. And we have a great partnership with Opportunity Village, who actually pays for the cost of the camp rental for the week. So the city has the, supplies, staffing costs, and things like that. But a lot of the participants that attend also work with Opportunity Village, and they really want to support the experience, not only for the participants, but for the families as well. It's a really good opportunity for the parents to have some respite and a break for a week. So that was just last week. They had a great time. I also wanted to share that we're working with communications to do a new marketing campaign. It's going to be coming out. It came out in the October newsletters, and then they're doing targeted social media around each center that's going to have specific information on each of the community centers. So we're excited to see that information get out into the local residents that live within a walking distance of our communities.
And starting in January 2026, we're going to be moving to a monthly registration model. So right now, most of our classes run on 4-week schedules. So after 4 weeks, a new session starts. It could be like the 3rd week or 4th week in September. It can be a little confusing for registering, and remember it's time for a new session to start. So we're going to be moving to a monthly model. So classes will run for the month of January, February, etc. Our active adult centers already operate this way and it works really well. The only classes that will deviate from this is our aquatics learn to swim. They follow American Red Cross learn to swim, which is 3 and 6 week sessions. And then I also wanted to share we have a ton of Halloween events coming up. Really, anything you can imagine, we're probably doing. We've got events at our pool, water exercise, dive-in movie nights. We have a Nerf Mania up at Vets where you can come dressed in your Halloween costume. The family fun night at Vets is going to be the Great Pumpkin movie, decorating, pumpkin pie. Halloween Spooktacular at Cimarron Rose. We have a trunk or treat at Stew Pack. A trunk or treat at Mirabelli. We've got the Halloween safe night that's actually on Halloween. That's a partnership with Pearson that Doolittle works with them on that event. We have the Fall Festival at East Las Vegas, and even our seniors, we like to get them involved with Senior Ween over at Doolittle. So a lot of great events coming up if you're able to come out and visit. It's a really fun time. And I have Savante Manor here with me. He's the recreation supervisor. He actually oversees Cimarron Rose Community Center, Doolittle Community Center, Doula Community Center, our adaptive recreation unit, and aquatics. It's a lot for me to even just say. I can't even imagine doing it all. And he's going to share a little bit of an aquatics update with you guys. If it's green, it'll work.
Alrighty. Good afternoon. Good again. I'm Savante Manor again with Parks and Rec supervisor. So we're going to go a little bit over the aquatics information. Tell you a little bit about our pools. We have our pools right now split into 2 divisions. Well, not really divisions, just 2 sides of the city. We have our east side pools and our west side pools. Muni Pool is our year-round pool, and Pavilion is a year-round pool as well, which we'll talk a little bit about the regional aquatic facility that will be coming on board there soon. And then we have Garside and Doolittle, and CMDH and Baker, which are our seasonal pools, which we open Memorial Day till Labor Day. Our staffing consists of 2 coordinators, 1 senior aquatic leader, 4 aquatic leaders. Normally throughout the school year, we have about 45 to 50 lifeguards during the year. That's lifeguards, pool managers, water safety instructors, all of that. And then also in the summer, that number increases when we open our seasonal pools to about 95 to about 105 staff, give or take. So what's new for us? We have the new regional aquatic facility that is going to be opening spring of 2026. We got our fingers crossed. Right now, everything seems to be going pretty well there. These are renderings of that pool right now. So we meet right now bi-weekly on the progression of what's happening up there at that facility. But so far, so good. The team is working to figure out what we're going to be able to do up there and come up with some new programs and ideas. So we'll keep you guys posted on what happens with that, and we'll have the grand opening and all of that facility. Another thing that we did, which I thought was important for us to talk about, was the new sports sampler class. So we do sports teams in the summer. We have a diving class. We have artistic swim. We have just freestyle swim. We have polo. Well, what we have been seeing on the east side of town is kids just really not participating in these programs as we try to create teams for all of our pools. So what we decided this year was to create a new sports sampler class where we would have the kids come in and register. We worked with Move Your Way, which they provided us a grant to be able to pay for some of these kids in the lower income areas to come in and get a sample of all of those sports because we weren't seeing the participation. And we actually ended up getting kids registering in this program, and they really enjoyed it. So the hope is moving forward is we'll be able to get more kids in our sports sampler class, and hopefully that will, I guess, maybe roll into either them just coming to the pool and joining more of our Learn to Swim classes, but hopefully being able to actually join our swim teams in the summer. So again, I talked a little bit about that, the program. We have our Learn to Swim classes. We have our aquatic teams. We have a junior guard camp, which I'll talk a little bit about more as well. We have lifeguard and water safety certifications. Our water exercise classes are really popular over at Muni Pool and Pavilion Pool. If you guys haven't seen them, they're great classes. We have a really good time in there. Open swim is a huge thing for us. Over this summer, we also hosted our summer camps during our open swim time. A lot of people at the pools this summer, and evening swim at CMDH and Garside is very popular. And we'll talk about some of those challenges toward the end here and how we can continue to keep those things going. We have quite a few special events. Lisa alluded to our dive-in movies. We work with Swank, the movie company, this year, and they allowed us to show movies at the pool and be able to promote them prior to the event, which has given us a huge increase. Prior to that, if we didn't have that licensing from the motion pictures, we weren't able to promote the movie before we showed it. So that was something that helped us a lot. And then we have our local swim teams. That's a huge part of our business daily there at our pools. So very important that we have them in the swim meets that we provide. I don't want to have to go over this for every number, but this was just our summer registrations, which we were really impressed with this summer. Our Learn to Swim program is growing every year, and that is huge for us. It's a huge safety thing for the community to make sure that we have people who learn how to swim and just be able to save themselves. It's just a life-saving thing that is very important that we push that. We have a meeting coming up actually next week with my staff where we're going to work in those areas where we're not seeing that increased number in Learn to Swim. Normally Ward 3, Ward 5, we're not seeing that, but we have some ideas. We've been consistently working on that, but we have some more ideas that I'd like to try to present for next summer as well. So our junior guard camp, we offered 5 sessions this summer. It's kind of limited because it takes up a lot of space for us, but with the new building coming into place, we'll have our own classroom space. We had been sharing space with Veterans Memorial Leisure Service Center over the summer, so it's kind of infringing on what they were doing, but they were kind enough to let us in. They have a lot of kids up there in summer camp, so to provide us with space is difficult. But we offered it 5 times, and every time we open it, registration fills right away. Very good program. We have a really good instructor, and Stephanie has been with us for a while, and it just really gives the kids the sense of, what it's like to be a lifeguard. You see here in the picture that the kids are at Cowabunga Bay. When we actually go to Cowabunga, they work in the back of the house with the staff that are there. Because we are teaching shallow water and deep water certifications. So when we go and work with them there, they teach them water park certifications as well as part of the Red Cross curriculum. And this program for us have also been very popular because we've been able to recruit kids to come and be lifeguards with the city of Las Vegas out of this program. So next summer, our goal is to offer it just about every week of the summer since we'll have our own space. And we'll keep you guys posted on, if those numbers stay up. We work with a couple of organizations this summer. We've worked with a few of these groups for a couple of years now. The American Red Cross gives us approximately $12,000, which is $5 swim lessons for about 600 kids. It is specific to certain pools. Ward 3, Ward 5 is allowed to utilize those grants for the American Red Cross. And then we also work with Float Like a Duck, where they give us an additional $5,000 to work with low-income and at-risk youth. In that program, we've worked with Las Vegas Housing Authority to get kids into programs, and we also worked with, I can't remember the name of it. Can't remember the name of the organization. But we work with another organization as well. Child Haven was another group that we work with the Float Like a Duck program. The programs are completely free when we work with Float Like a Duck. SNICC is for kids who are 3 and under to get swim lessons. So that's normally a parent and child class. And then Move Your Way is part of the Southern Nevada Health District just to get kids out and moving and being active. So that's what we utilize to get kids into the pool at Baker for free all summer. If you just come down to Open Swim, the Move Your Way grant will pay for you to get into the pool for free. And we also utilize those funds to get the kids into the sports sampler class. So some of our opportunities and challenges, one of the opportunities is we have a couple of new aquatic leaders in our organization, which is good to me. Anytime you bring in new staff, hopefully you get new ideas as they kind of start to move along, and really just want to push and see what they can do and bring on new ideas to the city. Then we also have the new pool. So I think for us, that's going to be a couple of new programs. We're going to have to be creative there. That pool was created to be more of a competition pool. It's 7 feet across the entire pool, the new aquatic facility. But we believe with that there are some things that we can do. Our budget, it's an opportunity for us. We don't necessarily have to go out and generate the money ourselves. We have a fund, that the city gives us. But one of the challenges are, because I have budget on both sides, is that we have competitions for our lifeguards in this city with the Strip and downtown and all the other municipalities needing lifeguards. The price of our lifeguards continue to rise. So that's a challenge for us. That is always something that we are trying to figure out. How do we find that sweet spot? How do we keep our lifeguards with us? And in that, sometimes we have to increase their pay, but then that also pushes our general fund budget a little bit. The other challenges that we have is the health district mandates. Whatever they come out with, hey, we're good with 3 lifeguards up if they're able to make it to their victims within 20 seconds. Then they come out and say, well, no, it's going to be based on the square foot of water in the pool. And then there's another change. So whatever that may be, we have to continue to change with those mandates in order to stay in compliance. But that's a little bit of a challenge for us as well. And then the last thing is just the demand for space. I think as soon as we can build a pool, they're going to fill the pool, whether it's programs, swim meets, swim teams, all of that. So I think it's a good problem to have, but I'd also like at some point to be able to make sure we have enough pools and space for everybody to be able to utilize. So that's the end of my presentation. You guys have any questions for me?
Great. That's a lot of great information from both of you. I think some of us are probably overwhelmed. No, I think I jotted one note. I'll get to it. But Commissioner Vargas, I see you. I have a question.
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. I just have a question about, is there any adaptive equipment at any of the pools that you're aware of?
I know we have the chair lifts that we have, and then we have had programs before when they come in to utilize, but I'm not sure if there's something specific that you're looking for, but we just have the lifts that'll help them into the water that I'm aware of.
And is there some place where families can find that information out? Is that on the website or?
Regarding the chair lifts,
Yeah.
That's at every pool that we have.
Every pool,
And
okay.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, that's a requirement.
Thank you.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Hi, Commissioner Cornwell. I just have one quick question. Is there a way that you can maybe get with the schools to give some of the new lifeguards Honor Society credits for being a lifeguard in your facilities? That might be a way to help you bring them in and not compete so much with, the downtown area and the hotels and different things.
Yeah, that's something we can look into, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Jones.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. Tolver and Mr. Manor, for your putting on some great events for the summer. Question, what's the age group for the swimming lessons? The one you had mentioned?
So
Learn to swim?
So our Learn to Swim programs start at 2 years old up to 17 years old.
Okay.
Normally with 2 years old, it's a parent and child class, up to 3 actually.
And another question. You were saying it was hard trying to get kids in. Do you guys hand something out to the middle schools over in Ward 5 before the summer gets ready to hit?
For kids to come into our swim lessons?
Yes.
Yes. We go out to all the middle schools, the elementary schools, and like I said, we work with Housing Authority over there where we were in Shimmer Garden Annex. Villa Capri, Marble Manor. We went to a couple of those places as well.
All right, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. I just had a question. This is Chair Becker. For Ms. Tover. You had mentioned like the recreation centers are having the new marketing campaigns roll out, and you mentioned they were walking distance. Do you have an idea of what constitutes walking distance? Is there a mile radius or several miles?
So typically for Parks and Rec, we look at like a 10-minute walk is what we would consider walking distance. So it kind of depends on each community what's walkable. The campaign that they're doing is on social media. So, Facebook, Instagram have those analytics. So, zip codes, they're probably going to go 1 mile as the crow flies out for that. And then there's more targeting they can do. Like, they know everything about us now, right? So if you're a family, you're going to see ads that, if you've got kids, those types of programs and things like that. So it's really trying to draw in those people that are very close to the centers.
Oh, great. Thank you. Great. I don't see any other questions. So thank you both for coming today and giving us an update on the recreation centers and aquatics. Excellent reports as always.
Thank you.
Moving to agenda item number 8, we have a report by Pat O'Mara, Deputy Parks and Recreation Cultural Affairs Director, regarding an update of the Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies, which is CAPRA, Accreditation All Wards.
Good afternoon, everybody. For the record, Pat O'Mara, Deputy Parks, Recreation, Cultural Affairs Director. Give you a little bit of an update. Some of you who have been around for a bit have heard me talk about CAPRA a couple of times. CAPRA is the mnemonic for the Commission for the Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies. CAPRA accreditation is a comprehensive process with 154 standards based on best practices in the industry. It's about making sure that we have quality assurance and make sure that we're always looking at our procedures, our processes to try and move forward, to always try and be improving our services, not only for our employees, our volunteers, our leadership, but for our community. To ensure that we're doing the best we can to provide for all of for everyone in our sphere of influence. As I mentioned, accreditation standards, there are 154 total standards, 36 of which are fundamental, which means you may not miss those. You have to show evidence of compliance on those 36. If you miss one, even if you hit every other one of the standards, you are not given accreditation. So there are 36 that are considered fundamental. In the first year, you have to meet 90% of the non-fundamental standards, and then reaccreditation happens every 5 years, and at that reaccreditation point, you have to hit 95% of the non-fundamental standards. This is a process we have undertaken since I came to the city almost 2 years ago. And so I'll give you a little bit about our little roadmap here, our calendar. We kicked this process off with a staff meeting in January of 2024. I had been here maybe 2.5 months or so, and this has been kind of a goal of the department's under several different administrations in the last probably 6 or 10 years. We were one of the first agencies to have CAPRA accreditation way back when, but during the recession, we lost our accreditation just trying to survive the recession. So it is something that we've let lapse, and it's something that we've been trying to get back for some time. We did some staff training in the spring of 2024, trying to get everybody up to speed. Some staff had not yet participated in CAPRA. Some of the older staff, or the longer tenured staff, I should say, were aware of CAPRA, having gone through it in previous iterations. And so we wanted to make sure everybody had a base layer of knowledge of that. So we did some of that training in the spring of 24. And then we started working on our evidence of compliance. That's the EOC that you see there on the screen. So what happens is that with each of those standards that we have to meet, we not only have to say, yes, we meet them and this is why we meet them, we actually have to show them proof that we've implemented that procedure. We have a policy, we have a procedure for meeting that standard. And so one that we were actually working on today is our ability to purchase, sell, lease, utilize, develop property. And so that's one, and we go and we actually show evidence of compliance by showing a recent purchase or a recent sale of a property. We show where we actually are given the authority to do so in NRS, all those kinds of things. So there's lots of different ways that we can prove that evidence of compliance. And essentially for the last year or so, we've been working on collecting all of that evidence of compliance. We're just starting our evidence of compliance verification. Lisa has been going through almost every single standard so far, just with a fine-tooth comb. Hey, we need this file, we need that file, this one's quite not good enough, those kinds of things. We have a handful of staff that are helping with that. And then our completed file is actually due to the commission at the end of this calendar year in December. I believe it's 16th of December. So we're trying to finish up and send everything through our director Maggie Plaster by the end of this month, so that we can finalize our file and have that ready to go. Then, as even though we've had the accreditation in the past, we're looked at as a first-time accreditation team or agency, and so we will host in person a team of 3 to 4 reviewers. The CAPRA review team will actually come out on site. They'll spend some time with our documents beforehand, come in and then ask us for some updates or for additional evidence to prove a certain standard, those kinds of things. And then we'll actually take them on a tour of our facilities to show that we have these things implemented. That will happen. We've actually had to submit 4 different weeks, March, April, May, June, next spring. So we're not exactly sure when that's going to happen yet. We'll be assigned a day, coming around the first of the year. And then our actual CAPRA determination will happen next year at the annual national conference. CAPRA is a conglomeration of many different agencies, but primarily the American Academy of Parks and Recreation Administrators and the National Parks and Recreation Association. So at the NRPA conference next year, we will find out the final determination of our file and whether we met the CAPRA standards and are accredited or not. So that's a little bit about our CAPRA process and where we stand. I can take any questions if you have them.
Sure. I just had one, Deputy Director. The only question I had was, are we using did we follow with the CAPRA standards that have been established for years, or there's a new beta version that's come out? So I was kind of curious if we're into the new beta version or the old one.
Yeah, so we're using the current standards.
Okay.
That's a very good question. The commission has tried to work on simplifying the standards. As I mentioned, there's 154. I believe that the new set of standards is something like 67. And there are several places where there's overlap in the 154, and so that's what they're working on. In general, there are standards that can be met by the same kinds of evidence of compliance, and so they're just trying to make some things simpler. The final version of the 2027 standards were not available when we started this process, so we knew we could. We believed I still think it's we knew we could meet the deadline
for the existing standards before they go away. So if we had to delay for a year, we'll have to switch. Everyone in the 2027 cycle will have to be on the new standards, but we'll try and make it on the existing standards, and then we have 5 years to adjust. So.
Great. No, that's a great answer. Thank you. Commissioner Armenian.
Commissioner Armenian, what's the number one or the biggest benefit of being accredited by CAPRA?
Well, I think the primary thing, and we're starting to see this just by going through the process, is a standardization of procedures. We were noticing, for example, with facility rentals, we have a little bit of a variation from center to center on how we're doing the process. So the primary thing actually is a standardization of process. So whether we make it to CAPRA accreditation or not, we are better off now than we were before we started, because we're trying to be more efficient. We're trying to be, and we're actually paying attention to that. Getting and keeping CAPRA accreditation will hold us accountable to those things so that we don't kind of, let that slide a little bit. But that's probably the number one reason to do it, is just to make sure we're doing the best we can for our community, making sure we're providing the best service, we're looking at ways to always improve, and certainly, streamline our operations. So.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Commissioner Volk, it's Ward 1. Please express our congratulations and our thank you to all of your staff, even the folks that are in the field and are doing the actual day-to-day activity. Is there something that this group can do to help you achieve CAPRA?
Short of providing your support, no. There's not really anything for this group to do. Depending on the timeline for our visit, they may end up coming into a meeting. I think that we actually have 1 or 2 of the weeks overlaps with a board meeting, one of our board meetings. So there is that possibility that you may need to just extend some hospitality, but that's probably it. As long as we have your support, we're in good shape.
Great. And just this is Chair Becker, just to kind of clarify it a little bit. If you think of those, it's 135, you said?
154.
154. If you think of them as best practices that it's used throughout the country, and we're just trying to meet the best practices. And if you look at it that way, so that we have great service at all Parks and Rec. Otherwise, a lot of Parks and Rec, they wouldn't even know what to aspire to without this kind of an organization, right? Accreditation. Great. Seeing no other questions, I'd like to move on to agenda item number 9, which I believe the director is going to also assist with us. The discussion for possible action regarding the 2026 Park and Recreation Advisory Commission calendar of presentations and meeting schedule. All wards.
So,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So as we try and do about this time every year, we're bringing you a list of possible topics for our conversations at these meetings. We have planned out the year. Obviously, the meeting date is something that's pretty well defined for us, but we have given you guys a handful of topics that we hope to address with you next year. All of you have the one sheet to be able to follow along if you are having any issues with the slides. These are just some suggestions that we have for now. As I like to do, we will be reviewing the bylaws at the beginning of the year. I think it's a great way to kind of kick off and make sure we're on the right footing. And then the one policy we have that relates to this board is the park naming policy, and so we'll be reviewing that as well. There are a couple of opportunities there to have some discussion. Many of you may know, our department is broken into 4 different divisions. We have the Parks and Grounds Maintenance Division, which you hear about from Steve, who is the manager over that division on a monthly. We have the Recreation Division, that's headed up by Lisa. Those are both my divisions, so I oversee those two. We also have an admin division that handles our budget and all those things, human resources, our actual operations behind the scenes. And then we have a third division that used to be the Office of Cultural Affairs, and now it's a division of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. So we will have a representative from that division out in February to talk to you all about what they do. They're not part of the oversight for this group, but I think it's important that you understand a little bit more about our family member on the other side of our department. And so they'll be out in February. We'll talk a little bit about our capital improvement projects. Many of the things that we have spoken about, I'll certainly give updates on those things. And then what we're hoping to be bringing forward to the budget for the fiscal 27 year. We'll talk a little bit about the summer programming preview in April, so that'll include aquatics and camps and any adjustments to our operations at that point. In May, we will talk about active adult classes and programming, and then we'll give a final report on our efforts with Get Outdoors Nevada and the volunteerism in our parks, tree plantings, park cleanups, those kinds of things. We heard from Joe Kennedy, their CEO, Executive Director, not too long ago, but he'll give us a final for this fiscal year in June. In July and August, as is our custom, we'll go dark during the hot months of the summer. And then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about some of the ADA compliance things that we have in the department. As some of you know, we're hard at work trying to identify things like accessible equipment within parks and make sure that they're clearly defined and those kinds of things. So we'll give you a little bit of an update on that in September. And then October, hopefully we're all celebrating a little bit and talking a little bit about CAPRA, because that'll be the week after we're all in Philadelphia for the annual conference. And then November, we'll bring back the following list to talk a little bit about the items for the following year. So that's kind of where we are. Again, sorry, December being right between the two holidays there, we'll go dark next year.
And Commissioners, this is Chair Becker. Just so you know, at any time throughout the year, as you're serving on this board, if you ever come up with an agenda item, you can feel free to send that to the director or Ashley, the secretary, or even myself, and we'll make sure that we can see if we can entertain it on wherever we seem like we have room at a point in time. Are there any questions about our schedule? So seeing none, I'd like to go ahead and have somebody could, this is actually an action item, so if somebody could make a motion.
Vice Chair Diger, motion to approve.
In a second.
Second. Commissioner Armenian.
Great, so I have a motion and a second. So all those in favor of adopting this agenda, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Great, the motion carries. Thank you so much. Moving on to agenda item number 10, we have a report by commission members regarding park issues and events within their respective councils and at large, all wards. I know everybody, I want to make sure everybody has time to speak. I know I have something to say, but let's just keep it brief because we also, in citizens participation, will have a speaker for a few minutes. So I want to make sure we have time for that. And we're just over the 5 o'clock mark. So any commissioners, something over on this side? No? Yes.
Commissioner Burgos, Ward 6. First, I wanted to say real quick, thank you to our recreation program. They had a women's event, a women warrior event, an overnight stay up in Mount Charleston, a wellness event, and I heard back from the women who attended, and they said it was a great event. So accomplishments and kudos to you guys. Thank you so much. I just have one event in Ward 6, Gilcrease Brothers Park Cleanup. It's Saturday, October 25th, in partnership with Get Outdoors Nevada. It's from 9 to noon. And that address for the park is 10011 Gilcrease Avenue. If you can go on the website or go to Get Outdoors Nevada and sign up with a QR code. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Great. And then Chair Becker speaking for Ward 2. As many of you know, I'm happy to announce that we have a new councilwoman for Ward 2, Councilwoman Akara Kelly. It looks like she's hitting the ground running. I already sent out introductions for myself and Russ Martin. Also, like right away, we have Ward 2 of the Trunk or Treat with the Halloween movie at 6 p.m. Bruce Trent Park. That's Friday, October 10th. The movie is Hocus Pocus, so that's going to be fun. And that's also an event that we're hosting with the Marshals, I learned today. And then Councilwoman Kelly will have a breakfast buzz on Saturday, October 25th from 9 to 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Community Center, located at 101 North Pavilion Drive, Ward 2. Staff does ask that you RSVP to Ward 2 at lasvegasnevada.gov. And that's all I have for commissions. Any other commissioners? No? Seeing none, then we have agenda item number 11, which is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Commission. No subject may be acted upon by the Commission unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of time of any discussion of any single subject, as well as the amount of time of any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. And we have a public speaker. And then from what I understand is we'll be able to give you 3 minutes today for the presentation I'm really looking forward to. And I'll go ahead when you're at about 30 seconds is just kind of hold up my hand so you know to kind of start wrapping it up. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Pat, for having me tonight. My name is Alicia Murkey. I'm a volunteer at the Las Vegas Community Healing Garden, along with many other volunteers that volunteer down here. I just wanted to share with this board what happens down at the Healing Garden in September, October. It's a very, very busy time for us there, and I just wanted to share a little bit about what's been going on down there last month. So we have lots of hands that work in the garden, and we have lots of volunteer tasks. They remove old rocks, clean up and repaint rocks, spread mulch around the trees, wipe down trellises and tiles, clean water features, repair broken things, pick up trash, work along the city workers, and maintain a private garden, particularly for our October 1 activities that happen during this time. This is one of the groups that came down this year to help us out. We had 35 kids plus 8 adults, and when these groups come down, they work extremely hard when they're here with us. This is another group that came down. This is our American Heritage Girls Troop, 325. They had 12 volunteers. They may be little, but they're mighty. The girls had a lot of fun in the garden. This group is our LDS Lake State Youth Group. They've come down for the last 40 years. And this year they had over 70 volunteers with them this year. And that's about the numbers that they have in the past for us. And we could not do what we do down there and have the garden looking as nicely as it is without this group. This is just some more pictures of that group. They do various things from, just painting the graffiti to laying down mulch, repairing rocks, and painting the benches and stuff that we have down there. This was a first-time group for us this year. It was UNLV students. I had been contacted by their Navigating End of Life class, and their professor, Sheila Brock, brought them down. 15 of those volunteers, none of them had ever been to the Healing Garden before. It was a very impactful day, and they learned a lot from us and themselves. This was a quote from one of the students. I had gotten a response from all of the students on what they felt after they left the garden. If anything in life can ever go wrong, know I can return here and feel hopeless or overwhelmed. It is called a healing garden for a reason. There's just some more of them, and I'll kind of click through theirs just for lack of time for you guys. It's just the crew working along with the city. We thank them immensely for their work. As you recognize, Sue Ann, fixing things within the garden that had been broken. We had 158 volunteers, countless hours, and endless love and support. Together, you keep the Healing Garden thriving. We couldn't do without you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. This was a fundraiser that we did at the 5K to do tiles down at the garden. That is kind of finishing off some walls in there. We hope to have more of those in the past to finish. I need about 600 tiles. This was an event on October 1st that we did in the storytelling garden, painting tiles as well. So we had 60 tiles painted over the last 2 days, bringing in a total of $884.54. That went into the mayor's fund. Those checks have been mailed already. We need 600 tiles to complete the walls, so I'm looking forward to some bigger events that we can do within the community to let them participate and be involved. Every tile tells a story of love, hope, and remembrance. On October 1st, we always last 3 years, we've hosted a lunch for the families of the 58 in the storytelling garden next door, and that's usually very well attended. And then in the evening of October 1, we have our candle lighting remembrance ceremony for the 58 that perished on October 1st. On October 3rd this year, Get Outdoors Nevada offered a healing in the outdoors with meditation and it was a nice calming day that we had down there. I know myself, I attended, and it was needed during that time, and I look forward to having one of those every year with them in the past. So with gratitude to the City of Las Vegas for their ongoing care and support of this sacred space, because of you, this garden remains a place where hearts find peace, soul finds comfort, and a community comes together to heal. Thank you.
Thank you. The healing garden is so important. I didn't see a problem letting you speak a little more than 3 minutes. And I saw you working really hard. So I really appreciate that. What you showed really does show how the community comes together. And every time I'm thinking about the healing garden, it touches me deeply.
Joanne might have some things she might want to say. I don't know.
Great job, for one. I don't do the computer, so.
I also did want to throw out that I noticed in some of the pictures that we saw, one of our commissioners is very prominent in many photos. So thank you for all your support.
You're welcome. It's a team effort down there. We have a great group that are constantly down there. Myself, Alicia, we have a gal that comes from Havasu that comes regularly and makes garden gifts that we give out down there. And it truly has become a community healing garden, not only for Route 91 survivors and the family members, but for just the general public, for people from out of the state of Nevada, from people from out of the country come there, and they just find so much peace and hope. And we have seen them come in there broken and walk out with hope and feel like they can start healing again. So if you haven't been down there to experience it, please try to get down there to experience. And if you can come down on the 1st and see, we probably had 900 people there on the 1st, in and out. And it truly is an amazing space. Thank you. And thank you for the city for all of their help and always being right there to help us with what we need.
Great. Thank you so much, Commissioner. I have a commissioner who would like to speak. Go ahead.
Commissioner Gabray, my heart always go there because I was the first volunteer when they dig the ground first time. And every time I go back there and get emotional, and it's a lot of improvement too. So thank you.
Great, thank you all. I mean, that's a very powerful presentation and also the contributions from our commissioners. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks. And so with that, I'd like to move to agenda item number 12, which is adjournment. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.